Hello, today we continue with the movie The Witcher Part 1. Jackie is trying to stop two merchants who want to take Geralt's horse. At this time, a gentleman named Zach Doko comes with two female subordinates. One guy showed attitude and got his head twisted by this girl. Immediately after that, Geralt also returned with the monster's head. The other guy was scared, so he threw money to Geralt and ran away. Zacdo invited the two people to the tavern to discuss business. The king here is offering a reward for hunters to kill a green dragon on the mountain. Zacdo wants to invite Geralt to join his team. Geralt refuses because he doesn't kill dragons and doesn't believe in treasure. Geralt sees two teams behind. One side is dwarves and the other side looks not very trustworthy, and the third team has a familiar face, the beautiful magician Yennefer. So Geralt agreed. The next morning, everyone sets off for the mountain. The dwarf team and the untrustworthy team constantly curse each other. Yennefer made love to the stupid knight in the group every day to annoy Geralt. Halfway there, everyone stopped to find food. Jackie went into the bushes to pick wild berries and saw a pair of beautiful golden eyes. He thought it was a cute animal, so he started talking to it. Unexpectedly, it was the tall monster Hijika. Geralt told everyone not to act rashly, but this show-off knight jumped on and killed the poor animal that only came to beg for food. Then he grilled Hijika and ate it. After that, he had diarrhea. Boho, this unreliable group member, didn't know how to live or die and seduced Yennefer. Geralt reminded him with good intentions, but he looked down on Geralt. During the meal, the dwarf said that the Nitsa army, with the help of Zinzila, was waging a large-scale war across the continent. At this time, Jackie asked Geralt if dragons were real. Geralt said that they were hunted and there weren't many left. The most common is the green dragon, while the yellow dragon is almost extinct. The next morning, Yennefer woke up to find her escort's throat cut. Everyone guessed that Boho did it, so she split up. So Geralt went after her. Yennefer came here because she heard that dragons could cure infertility. Geralt told her that it was just a place and that people like them shouldn't have children. Life was too dangerous for them to protect their children. During the argument, Geralt accidentally mentioned the unexpected child in Cintra. Yennefer said that Geralt had no right to tell her. Then Geralt convinced her to go with the dwarves. They had a shortcut that could get them to the top of the mountain faster. Everyone went to a high cliff. For the dwarves, it wasn't too difficult, but for the others, it was a problem, especially the timid Jackie, who was afraid of heights. When the group climbed a short distance, the wooden wall on Zacdo's side collapsed, causing him and the two girls to fall. Geralt tried to hold him back, but he didn't want to be a burden to Geralt, so he let go and fell into the abyss. Jackie tries to comfort Geralt that it wasn't his fault. Geralt then ventured out to find Yennefer and apologized to her. The two understood each other's feelings and officially dated. The next morning, Geralt asked Yennefer to return, but she was still determined to find a cure to have a child. Yennefer discovered that the dwarf had left first, so she quickly chased after them and stopped them. Then she ran to the cave alone and entered the sword. But what she saw was only a dead dragon next to an egg. Two of Zacdo's female guards, who were supposed to be dead, appeared. They stopped Yennefer from getting closer. Geralt caught up at this time. From above the cave entrance, a giant golden dragon appeared. It was old Zacdo. Both agreed to help him protect the dragon egg. Outside, the mouse sack group arrived. Geralt charged out to fight them. During the fight, Yennefer and Geralt used a kiss to cast a spell that sent their enemies flying, but another group broke in, so the two had to fight them out of the cave. Inside, there was an undead man who wanted to steal the egg, so he was killed by the golden dragon Zacdo's fire. Outside, after a fight, Yennefer was captured by one of them, while Geralt was fighting Boho. Seeing that she was in danger, Geralt threw his sword to kill that man. Boho took the opportunity to throw sand into Geralt's eyes, intending to kill Geralt. Luckily, the witch killed him first. When Jackie arrived, everyone had finished fighting. Zacdo came out and gave the dwarves the dragon's teeth so they could take them back to receive the king's reward. He then thanked Geralt and Yennefer for helping him, but he also said that Yennefer would never be able to get pregnant and that Geralt would lose her. And during the conversation, she accidentally discovered that Geralt's last divine wish was to tie their fates together. Yennefer got angry and decided to put an end to the love affair and left. The golden dragon once again reminded Geralt to find his destiny. Geralt was in turmoil with his thoughts. Jackie was babbling about all sorts of things, so Geralt scolded him that the troubles I encountered were all because of you. So Jackie was sad and left. On the way back to Cintra, Geralt saw a huge Nipka army crossing the Immel Pass. After a long time of preparation, King Nipka had carried out his ambition to conquer the north, starting from Cintra. This made Geralt want to to take his unexpected child to protect her even more. Finally, Geralt went to Mousesack and asked about the child. Geralt learned that it was a girl and that her parents had unfortunately died at sea. Geralt said that he saw the Nipka army nearby, so he thought the princess was not safe and he wanted to take her away. At that moment, the soldiers surrounded Geralt. Mousesack uses teleportation to transport the two to the queen. Geralt says he will protect his child. But the queen did not want to give her beloved niece to anyone, so she wanted to use money to chase Geralt away. But Geralt reminded her of the law of surprise in front of her people, forcing her to obey. The queen had no choice but to agree, but she tricked Geralt. She let Geralt meet a fake princess. While Geralt was waiting outside, he saw the girl calling someone else princess, so he realized that he had been tricked. Geralt went in and confronted her, saying that he only wanted to protect the girl. The queen was still arrogant, thinking that her kingdom was the safest. She told the king to take Geralt out. Geralt tried to convince him, but Geralt was tricked again and imprisoned. Princess Ciri was playing with her friends when the cavalry took her back to the castle. At night, the kingdom of Cintra held a party. The king said that he had seen signs of war this morning, but the queen was not afraid and was very confident that it would not happen. The noble Mousesack brought his son to invite the princess to dance. The girl did not like it but was forced by the queen. While the princess was dancing happily with everyone, someone reported that the Nipka army was attacking. The queen was shocked, but she quickly went to battle with her husband. The two sides rushed into battle. In a moment, many people fell off their horses and died. The princess stayed at home, worried about her grandmother, so she could not sleep. Because the reinforcements did not arrive in time, Cintra quickly became exhausted and lost the battle. The king died right in front of the queen by an arrow from the man in the feathered hat. She was in great pain and rushed into battle. But then, she was also seriously injured and was taken back to the castle. Below, the Nipka army had stormed the castle. Mousesack created an invisible shield to temporarily stop them. At midnight, they fired rockets at the castle gate. Mousesack's arrow went inside and quickly caught fire. Mousesack was out of energy, so the queen had no choice but to tell the princess to go find Geralt. That was her fate. Outside, the Nipka soldiers were brutally massacring civilians, making the scene no different from hell. The queen knew that sooner or later they would attack inside, so she decided to do something foolish. Mousesack, and a courtier, promised to take the girl out. Then he stayed behind to hold them off while his guards took her away. The man in the feathered hat discovered them and chased after them, but before he could run far, he was knocked down by the soldiers. She was captured by the man in the feathered hat. On horseback, Princess saw her country covered in a sea of donkeys. She screamed in pain, causing the horse to fall madly. Her screams caused the ground to collapse. Then she ran into the forest. At this time, inside the prison, Geralt had also escaped. Geralt saw the chaos of the battle. The queen was dead. Geralt rushed into the castle to find the princess. Geralt asked a soldier, but he did not answer. In Cintra, Zinzila came to perform a forbidden spell to make a witch eat queen. Immediately he foamed at the mouth and was gutted by her. Seeing the girl hiding in the forest, Zinzila immediately sent 10,000 cavalry to capture her. Ciri went alone into the deep forest. To avoid the soldiers, she smeared mud on her hair. Because she was so hungry, she wanted to pick berries to eat, but a boy named Dara stopped her because they were poisonous. Then he offered the princess mouse meat. Ciri talked a lot, but Dara did not respond to her. When they went into the deep forest, she saw that he was very cold, so she gave Dara one of her gloves. Then the princess saw the flag of Cintra and ran after him. The girl went to a refugee camp. The Mousesack people there were very miserable. They were lining up to get food. There was a brother who recognized the cloak the girl was wearing as his father's, so he started talking to her. Then he took her home and asked her mother to let her live with them. But at midnight, the Nipka army stormed the refugee camp and massacred all the people, including the family that had taken Ciri in. Ciri was in a panic when Dara appeared and took her away. When they entered the forest, he revealed himself to be an elf. The next morning, Ciri woke up. She left alone following the call of the nearby forest. When Dara chased Ciri, an arrow was shot. He saw dry fog everywhere, so he was even more scared and tried to run after Ciri. But this time he was hit by the arrow. Ciri kept going deep into the forest. When she saw the light, she came to her senses after a while. She was surrounded by native women. The leader of the forest came out and told Ciri to follow her. After a while, Ciri heard Dara's scream. When Ciri ran to him, she saw them pull out the arrow for him and pour the water of the forest on the wound. The queen said that this was the water of the forest. When drinking it, whoever is pure will live. It helps that person forget sorrows, and those who still have evil intentions will die. In the middle of the night, Ciri told Dara the truth that she was the princess of Cintra. He was shocked because her grandmother was the one who ordered the extermination of his tribe. Dara was the only one left alive. Because of the pain, he wanted to forget the past. He asked her to stay here with him. Ciri refused because she wanted to find her destiny. That night, she dreamed that her hands were covered in blood. So when she woke up, she decided to drink the water of forgetfulness from the forest. But it had no effect. So the leader took Ciri to a place and gave her tree sap to drink. Soon after, Ciri saw herself lost in the middle of the vast desert. There was a large, shining tree. A voice rang out inside. "Who are you, little girl?" In the Zakulan forest, people were discussing whether the girl would join them, when a female soldier brought back 2 Nipka heads that were trying to explore the forest. The leader felt that Ciri was the only living child of the tribe, so she agreed to let Ciri stay. This handsome man was actually a mimic. He could transform into any person by looking into their eyes. He could also retain that person's memories. In the room, a man named Kahia appeared. Zinzila captured Mousesack. Kahia appeared and uncuffed him. Mousesack ran away, but Geralt was caught after a few steps. The mimic looked into Mousesack's eyes. His eyes turned white, and he gradually turned into Mousesack himself. He then killed Mousesack. Before he died, Mousesack said you didn't know what she was. Kahia then told the mimic to bring Ciri back alive. Meanwhile, Yennefer went to Niger to meet Istred. He is currently excavating in a mountain range. She wishes he could come with her. They kiss again, but he refuses, because in the past, she chose power. Then another mage appeared and said Nipka was summoning mages to carry out a plan of annexation. He said Tisaya wanted to see her, so they both went to Aretuza. When they got there, she found out he lied. Tisaya was not there, so she ran out in anger. This place brought back many painful memories. Then she returned to her old room and met her new students. She taught them about plants. She took them to the windmill of Aretuza and talked about the cruelty of the magic world. Tisaya returned. The two were arguing when she met Chip again. They were going to an emergency meeting of the northern mages about Nipka's plan to attack Cintra. They split into 2 factions. During the heated argument, Zinzila appeared and told Nipka to only attack Cintra, so the Witches Association doesn't need to interfere in this matter. The final vote was won by Jaggerball. Tisaya chased after Yennefer and begged Yennefer to fight with her. Then 60 mages of the north set out, while reinforcements from Temeria and Kaikuin were sent deep into the forest to Lodi, the last place between Nipka and the northern countries. There were refugees from the Nipka invasion. All the people entered the city. They made bows and arrows and prepared explosives, but Nipka had blocked all the roads, so they had few weapons. The women also rose up to fight. Yennefer had created more feathers. On Kaya's side, Zinzila came to report that the mages had come to defend Lodi. In the Zakulan forest, the female warriors were defending. They saw a man enter. It was the disguised Mousesack. He came to see the princess. The girl was overjoyed and hugged him. She told them that he was her closest friend. She agreed to go with him to find Geralt, as her aunt told her. After clearly telling Ciri, the leader let her and Dara leave. On the way, Dara doubted Mousesack's identity, so he asked Mousesack many questions. Dara realized that Mousesack was very suspicious and warned Ciri. He heard and gave her Ciri's grandmother's scarf and gained her trust. But the princess used a place name to say that it was his hometown, and she quickly realized that he was a fake. He was angry and confessed everything. Dara quickly ran to stab him, but he quickly avoided and froze Dara's hand. The princess grabbed the knife and stabbed him in the neck, revealing his true form as a scary man. Dara was able to slash him, but in a moment of hesitation, he knocked Dara unconscious and chased Princess into the forest. Then Ciri was caught by someone. On this side, the scarred man said he would not harm the princess. He just wanted to help her find her destiny. When he turned his back, the princess had transformed into someone like him. The imitator blamed him for not telling me that the girl had powers. The two of them fought. The imitator knew all the moves of the real one, so it was difficult to beat them. He strangled Kahia, but Kahia cut his face with a piece of glass. He ran out of the room. Meanwhile, the real princess was tied up with spiders in the forest. Dara chased after her and untied her. After that, the two of them went their separate ways because of a conflict of opinions. Because they didn't know who was real and who was fake, Kahia killed all her henchmen. Zinzila helped him bandage his wounds and sent more people to find Ciri. She said that Ciri was the key. As long as they had it, power would belong to them. The princess kept going until she came to a village where she wanted to steal an ear of corn. She needed a horse to get to the coast, but she didn't have the money to buy one. Luckily, Ciri met a kind woman. She told Ciri to go with her, but what Ciri was after was her horse. Ciri took it and ran away. She ran until she reached a field where she met her old friends. But now, she was a prize. Because she was so frightened, she revealed her power. This time it was stronger than all the previous times. When she woke up, her bad friends from yesterday were dead. This kind woman chased after and hugged Ciri. Then she took Ciri to her house and wanted to adopt Ciri. At this time, outside a fire arrow from Nipka shot across. Yennefer woke up in time to stop it from flying into the air. She woke everyone up. Immediately after that, the cruel Zinzila forced the witch to throw another fire, which turned her into a dry corpse. The fire was pushed out again. She brought out a box. The next morning, everyone saw white smoke surrounding the frozen forest wherever it passed. Everyone immediately formed battle formation Tisaya assigned Yennefer the task of defending the castle. Below, from children to adults, everyone prepared their spears to welcome the enemy. She heard the sound of Nipka's army approaching. Cheat put his hand on the ground and then chanted a spell. Mushrooms grew from below. They emitted poisonous smoke that killed the enemy. With a twist of the witch's hand, another army died instantly. Then the villagers and other witches shot magic arrows into the forest and killed another army. But that was just Cahir's plan. He tried to weaken their strength. Then the three armies went in three different directions. Vingeford teleported to Cahir to kill all the enemies. But Cahir's swordsmanship was not to be trifled with. He quickly grabbed Vingeford's sword. Although Yennefer warned Vingeford to slow down, he was so angry and impatient that he used all his strength. Vingeford could not recover his sword anymore and was kicked down the mountain by him. Zinzila went into the forest and used magic to break the gate. Then he created a teleportation portal and shot arrows inside, killing many people. Tisaya went to advise Zinzila to use her hands, but he released poison that made her unable to use magic. Then he dropped the box containing brain-eating worms into the castle. Chico created a plant gate to protect the castle, but was burned by them. The witches outside the front line were almost all massacred by the Nipka soldiers. Inside, Sazina and the two children were manipulated by brainworms. They took explosive bottles and dropped them into the medicine warehouse, causing everything to explode. Meanwhile, Sazina stabbed Yennefer. Both were blown down, but Sazina could not use magic, so she died. Yennefer walked alone in the pile of corpses as if she was satisfied. She looked at her friends who were about to die. Walking out of the castle, she continuously called out to everyone. In the forest, Vilgefortz woke up. Tisaya also woke up among the corpses. Yennefer went into the forest to find Tisaya. Tisaya ran out of energy and collapsed. Tisaya said it was time for Yennefer to save the continent. Let the magic in Yennefer's body explode. Yennefer unleashed her maximum power to extinguish the fire in the castle and kill many soldiers. Immediately after that, she flipped over and burned all the Nipka soldiers. The fire spread throughout the forest. When the Temezia reinforcements led by King Foltest arrived to rescue, everything was in ruins. A week later, Geralt went to the forest where the refugees were massacred. He only saw a farmer trying to reassemble the bodies of the victims. Geralt saw the mangled bodies and advised him to go home, but the old man did not listen, and soon the dry corpses rose up and pulled his legs. Geralt killed them in time and saved him. This was a goo, killing people with just one bite. Geralt stabbed a goo with his sword and killed it. Geralt was then attacked by a goo. He ripped out the tongue of one of the goo and used it to beat the others. But because there were so many of them, Geralt was bitten in the leg in the end. Geralt thought this was the end. Meanwhile, the kind old farmer took Geralt back in his carriage. While in a daze, Geralt recalled his childhood memories. The days when Geralt dreamed of becoming a hero. He still had his mother and delicious food. He remembered when he was lying in the back of his mother's carriage. He kept asking for food, and his mother turned into an apple. When he went into the forest to get water and turned around, his mother had disappeared. Only a man named Visenya appeared. Then Geralt saw Ciri healing him, then Yennefer, then a red-haired woman. That was Geralt's mother. Geralt resentfully asked his mother why she left him, but she did not answer, only told him to go find the girl. Then he woke up, and there was only the old man beside him. On this side, Ciri dreamed again of her aunt's words telling her to go find Geralt, so she left. Soon after, the old farmer brought Geralt back. Geralt heard the wife talking about a girl in the forest. Immediately, Geralt was mesmerized and walked towards the direction Ciri had just left. From afar, Ciri ran to hug Geralt. Ciri asked who Yennefer was. Here part 1 of the movie has ended. Pause, and see you again in part 2 of the movie.